Hi, welcome to the vlog. We have to be so quick because my camera battery is dying and I have already filmed the vlog. I think it went, well, you decide for yourself, I guess. I am reading for 24 hours and picking novellas from my already existing physical TBR to read as many books as possible in that 24-hour time period. I have a lot of different things to choose from and I will go over all of them in the vlog. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. Grab a drink, grab a snack, and watch me spiral just a little bit. Okay, my camera is basically dead, but we did make it to McMinnville, and I went to the library book sale. You're getting a haul later because my camera's almost dead, but I finished my first book. This was a crazy book to start with. This was so good. It's about a queer mountain lion. It took me less than an hour to listen to it on the way here. I actually had to switch to another book that I'll talk about later. And it was just like a lot of commentary on society, and it was so sad. This is a 5-star book. This was so good, and it would probably put me into a reading slump if I wasn't determined to do this 24-hour readathon. But at this point, we're over an hour into it, but this took me about an hour for book 1. We're on to book 2. We're on to Scourge of Stars by Ness Brown. It's a sci-fi horror, I think. And I will give you an update when I have camera battery, but we're gonna do a few more errands and activities, so kind of a weird day to do a 24-hour readathon, but I'll have a lot of time to listen to books, so I'll give you an update when I get home, but you'll see some b-roll first probably. I took Rocket on a walk and he was horrible. So I got incredibly overstimulated and now I'm in pajamas. But the thought of washing my face was really overstimulating too. So we're rocking with pajamas but also makeup. Hopefully you can deal with it. Also, while I was driving everywhere that you saw, I got The Scourge Between Stars by Ness Brown done. This was really good too. I'd say this is a 4.5 star. She is basically getting messages from her mom, who was also a space captain. The only thing that is really clear in this message is don't open the door, and then she opens the door and then things happen, obviously. And she's also developing a relationship with this droid, even though it's like they're not human, but she is definitely feeling kinship with this droid. They have to like fight their way out, basically. And she feels this huge sense of guilt for choices she makes too and just has to reconcile those. I thought this was really good. It's like a little bit darker of a Becky Chambers novella, if you enjoy those. I like this a lot. Definitely worth the read. It went by super quickly. The audiobook was really good. It just didn't have that 5-star feeling. And reading it immediately after this one, it just like was not quite up there in terms of how much I enjoyed it, but still really, really good. This very well could have been a 5-star had I not read it immediately after this one, but that's okay. So 2 done. Well, actually 3 done. I have to talk to you about another book. I was just listening to all of these on audio while I was either driving or walking, and my camera was dead, my phone was dying. It was just a lot against my favor, but I have been reading and things have been going pretty well. So I was also listening to The Fireborn Blade by Charlotte Bond, and then I just finished this up. This was also pretty good. It was about a knight who has to slay a dragon, and we get a lot of like the dragon lore told through stories or like beginnings of chapters, and that was fine. It took me out of it a little bit, but we did learn more about how dragons work in this world, and they're like pretty classic dragons. And she has to slay this dragon with this squire who is just like not really living up to his squirely duties and is just really crabby all the time, especially because she's a woman. He has to listen to him, so that's annoying. But she ends up slaying the dragon and it goes kind of well, but then there's a huge conflict at the very end of the book and a bunch of bad stuff happens because this is a novella duology, and I will definitely be continuing it. I like this a lot. I thought it was sapphic though, and it wasn't. I don't know if I missed something. It does talk a lot about being like a woman in a male-dominated field, and that is something I really related to. I was like, yeah, girl, I feel you. And there's a double cross situation that happens at the end of the book, and I was like, not entirely taken aback or like surprised by it, but I'm intrigued enough to continue. So we've actually finished 3 books, and now I definitely want to read something physically because I really haven't all day, and these are our options. I have an Arc of Eradication of Fable by Jonathan Miles. This is like a speculative cli-fi dystopian fiction type of situation, which will be good because a lot of the stuff that I have is horror, even though Like, this doesn't really convey super horror. Most of the rest of what I have are horror books, I think. So I might save this to break some horror up either later tonight or tomorrow. But it will be really nice to get an arc out of the way. This doesn't come out until February of next year, so I have time still. Y'all Rot Eventually by Mia Ballard. This one's really short. One chapter into it, this one so far too, but not enough to like actually talk to you about it. This is the one that I will be continuing. Spoiler alert. I'm liking it so far. I've heard some divisive things about this one, but I really liked Sugar by Mia Ballard earlier this year, and this cover is so good, so I do really want to like it. I want to keep it. It's less than 100 pages, and if you're wondering, these took me about 6 hours to get through all of these, so I still have 6 hours to try and get through today. We'll see if that happens. I would still go to bed at a normal time if I did that, but I would have to like read and focus the entire rest of the night, so we'll see if that happens. Cats are fighting, but it's fine. Other options for tonight. This is one I really want to get to. I'll definitely get to it at some point, whether it be today or tomorrow, and that's This World Is Not Yours by Kemi Ashingiwa. I don't know what it's about, but this cover is so terrifying, and Baker Reeds talks about it, so I think I'll like it. And then this one sounds really weird. I'll introduce it to you only if I get to it, because it is really weird. And then I have Cirque Berserk by Jessica Guess. This is about a town where a group of teens kill 12 people and then just disappear. And then years later, there are people looking for them, I guess, because it's like one of those places in a small town that has a lot of lore and it's haunted and people participate in that kind of activity. But it's like a carnival horror, which it's not really the season for that, but that's fine. And then if for some reason I feel like I can't sit and read for 6 hours straight and I want to pick up an audiobook, I'll probably pick up Counterweight, and I'm pretty sure this is sci-fi. The cover is obviously why I picked this up. Like, that cover is, it's eye-catching. So those are my reading plans for tonight. I have a cute little snack plate and some coffee because I definitely need it. And then the fabric that I bought in that fabric store is still in the car. I don't think it's gonna work for what I want it to. But I can show you my book haul from the library book sale. Okay, first off, they had these 3 books, and all of the books at this book sale were $1 each. So I just grabbed them just in case, worst case, I can sell them or they're gonna go to a little free library. And this I think is like kooky sci-fi, kind of silly, kind of goofy, and I've definitely looked at these covers in a bookstore before. I think The Girl Who Could Move Shit With Her Mind is the first one. And I guess it's a trilogy. So now I have the whole trilogy in case I want to read that. Maybe at some point. And then this one, I kind of got it as a Halloween decoration. I think I might put it out as like a coffee table book during Halloween. I don't necessarily that I'm going to read it. I'm not going to put it in like my book tracking app, but it just looks cool. Their sci-fi section was lackluster, but they did have Light from Uncommon Stars by Reika Aoki, and I keep saying that I'm going to read this, and I keep putting it off, but now I own it, so hopefully I can get to that. It's in pretty good condition. It's like a hardcover, nice. And definitely has been read, but not like beaten up, you know? And then I got a couple books in the Robin Hobb universe. They don't match the ones that I have for the first trilogy, but I like these covers a lot, and maybe I can find them. Like, that's so cool. This is the Live Ship Traders, part of the Live Ship Traders trilogy, but I don't know if it's the first one. Maybe this is the first book in the Live Ship Traders. I got the first book, I think, yeah, in the Tawny Man trilogy. They're just so cool. I feel like these books look how the series feels, even though I haven't started them yet, so that's fun. Oh, I was excited about this one. I just got cast for one of my friends, used and sent it to her, and I was like, I kind of want this book and I kind of want to read it, and I think I'm going to want to annotate it though too. So now I have a copy for $1. That's so exciting. And it's just social justice kind of nonfiction, which I'm trying to get more into. And then I already have James, but it's like a pretty beat up copy. So I just bought the nicer copy for $1. And I'll pass on the other one. This is like one of those books that I feel like everyone is talking about and reading. Oh, and it's tiny. It's only 200 pages. I could read it for this vlog. I probably won't though, because I already have it in my brain, kind of what I want to read. And I have a lot of books actually under 200 pages. And then I got a book by Blake Crouch. I definitely want to check out Blake Crouch next year. I think that as far as thrillers go, he's going to be one for me. This isn't necessarily like his most popular one, but it is signed, which is cool. And that's my haul. It was, you know, as many books as there are, that many dollars. So not too bad. And then I got a bunch of movies for one of my friends, but I already gave her those. That was part of one of my errands. Today I stopped at Midslumber Media, but I didn't film any of it. But I do have a couple books from there too that I needed to pick up because they were like, not pre-orders, but special orders, I guess. So I definitely want to do like a winter horror vlog, and I got Christmas and other horrors. It's actually a pretty stacked short story collection. There's Stephen Graham Jones, Elma Katsu, Cassandra Caw, Josh Mallerman, Tanner Dew. Those are all the people that I recognize, I think. And I've always looked at this cover at the bookstore and have always wanted it. It's so good, and I will let you know if it's any good. You'll be finding out. And then I really, really loved Clay McLeod Chapman's book this year, Wake Up and Open Your Eyes. So I got Whisper Down the Lane. Someone that I'm friends with on TikTok was talking about how they love this book. I will be getting into that. Oh, and she gave me stickers too. This is from a local Portland artist, Espresso Vampire. I will link their Instagram if you're interested. They didn't even give these to me. They gave them to someone else and they gave them to me. But I love their artwork, so I'm gonna get to reading and get to my little snacks and continue not being overstimulated. I'm going to be normal stimulated. Halfway done, and it's giving such heavy Pearl vibes, but set in 2005. We're following Alexa Valentine, crazy name, and she lives in LA. She lives with a bunch of roommates, and she's trying to make it as an actress. And the day, or around the day that she has this audition, her kind of boyfriend dies, and he's a sort of rising rock and roll star. So she gets interviewed because she's like the closest person to him in LA, and insists on being like absolutely glammed up for this interview, and it's basically just like hot and cries, and that goes viral online. So that's kind of the reason that she gets the role that she auditioned for, and she's starting to make some mistakes, but I think she's going to like really do whatever it takes to be famous. That's the kind of the whole plot, and I'm kind of like neutral towards it so far. It's very short, clearly. I think I have 45 pages left, and it's taking me about 45 minutes to get this far. So should have it done in around an hour and a half. I'm a slow, like, physical reader, so that's just how it goes, but not too bad. And then we'll get to pick our next read. I'm guessing right now that this is going to be like a 3.75 to a 4-star, and I'll update you when I'm done with it. Okay, well, obviously wearing a sweatshirt now. That's one of the big things, one of my big updates. The other is that I finished this, and it didn't go in the direction that I thought it was going to necessarily. I guess it's kind of an ambiguous ending, but the gist of the second half of the book is she's a serial killer, which slay, but then it kind of got a little boring because we just kept killing people, and it's like, okay, perhaps we do something new. And I just felt kind of fine about the ending. I think I'm gonna give this a 3.5. Yeah, a 3.5. Because like I had a good time. It definitely didn't need to be any longer. This was a novella for sure. But it was also kind of a bummer. A little bit. But I have read 4 books today. I'm hoping I can finish at least one more tonight. So this is what I'm thinking. I don't think that I need to have it an audiobook yet. I think I can concentrate on one more book. I think I have it in me somewhere. And like I don't think that I need to do this like 50-page situation. But I think I'm gonna try Eradication because I'm not necessarily in a horror mood right this moment. So let's find out about what this is about together, shall we? I was hoping for a quick blurb, but that's apparently not what we're getting. Ooh, we have a map. A former jazz musician turned school teacher answers a job listing advertising a chance to save the world. The assignment is to spend 5 weeks alone on a tiny, isolated Pacific island of Santa Flora, writing an ecological balance that's gone severely out of whack, with the aim of preserving countless bird and plant species from certain extinction. What follows, however, is anything but balanced. The threats to the once endemic island, Addie soon learns, aren't quite what his employer said they were, and complicating things further, he discovers he's not alone on the island. Fearful for his own life and for the fate of the island, Addie spends his sun-drenched days rooting out the true threat to Santa Flora, and by extension, the world, and contemplating the desperate steps he may have to take to eradicate it. A desert island meditation on the contours of love and grief and solitude, as well as a jolt to your emotional core, Eradication is an utterly unforgettable reading experience, a narrative tour de force, and the work of a truly singular imagination. That's a lot of descriptors, but I think this could be what I'm in the mood for. What I'm really in the mood for is the second book in this series, but I don't have it, and part of the intention of this is to read down my physical TBR. Is it reading just all of my most teeny tiny books? Yes. But it's going well. So I'm going to continue to do it and get the second of this series because I need it. I need to know what happens. I'm just in a high fantasy mood, I think. This took me like an hour and a half to read. So that means we are at 7 to 7.5 hours. I would love to get in at least 3 more hours of reading tonight. I'm so brave. But I think I can definitely read this in less than 3 hours. So we'll be picking up another book tonight. But for now, I will update you when I'm halfway done with Eradication. Look at this man, you're actually joking. That is the most spoiled animal you've probably ever seen. I never would have requested this book if I would have known that it's about a man who has to kill 300 goats on an island. I love goats. I don't want to read about them being shot. However, it's not quite as bad as I was expecting it to be because we're following Adi and he has lost his son. His son has passed away. His wife has left him. And he applies for this job that the tagline is basically like, help save the world or save the world, something like that. So he is tasked with getting rid of these goats on this island because they're essentially an invasive species to this island and they're ruining the ecosystem. They are making bird species go extinct and different like flora and fauna, etc. So he gets dropped off on this island with basic supplies and a gun. So day one, he is making all of these excuses, right? He doesn't actually want to kill these goats. Didn't totally know that it was going to be that when he applied for it, but has decided to go with it anyways. And he has 5 weeks to do this. It's not a huge island from what I can tell. He ends up killing his first goat and it goes almost comically poorly from start to finish. Kills the goat and then he's like, well, I can't just leave it here. I have to take it back. And he's basically like snot crying and it's too heavy for him. So he chops it up, but all he has is like a bushwhacking machete. So it's not super great at getting rid of the goat parts. And he ends up only being able to take one leg back, and by the time he gets back he's so exhausted, just like emotionally and physically, and he starts to cook and eat the meat from the goat leg, but it's awful. It's like raw in the middle and gross on the outside, so he's just like crying. He ends up using the goat leg to feed this injured bird that he inadvertently injured from not killing goats. And he's like, oh, okay, I can use the goat meat to help feed the birds. We're doing the cycle that we're tasked with here. And then we're on day 2 of him trying to kill goats, and he's like forming these emotional attachments and projecting onto all of the goats. But then he finds one that is servicing itself. He's like, oh, this cannot be normal. I'm actually doing a service here. But also deems that goat not worthy for his bird that he is feeding and bringing back to health. So this is a very interesting book, and I think I will be able to finish it, even if in the next, I don't know, 80 pages he ends up killing 299 goats. It's just really not what I thought it was going to be about. I can't even begin to think about what I'm going to rate it. It's so weird and not at all what I was expecting, but it is another bummer of a book, so hopefully we can get a happier one at some point, just not this one. I finished Eradication and this is going to be my last book before I go to sleep. I'm so exhausted. I'll just have to read a little bit extra tomorrow. That'll be fine. I don't have anything to do tomorrow. It's fine that it's going to just be my entire day. I have some audiobooks that I can listen to while I clean too, so I probably will save them for that. But as far as Eradication goes, I don't think that it was particularly surprising in the second half. Like, as soon as we met the poachers, he met 2 like fishing poachers, and they come on the island and kind of like interrogate him and stuff, and then we move on with the story. I didn't think it was particularly surprising what happened. We also get little bits of his grief over his son, and like we find out what happens, and it was very sad. That was definitely the saddest part of the book. And I think in total he only ended up killing, this is a spoiler if you're going to read Eradication, which I would probably recommend it if you like a sci-fi kind of story. I guess it kind of focuses on that. It's mostly his internal monologue though. He only ends up killing one goat. So it wasn't too bad for me personally. I'm gonna give this 4 stars. So that's not so bad. Like, I really wasn't sure when we checked in how I was gonna feel about it at the end of it, but 4 stars is good. And that means we finished 5 books today. I'm hoping to finish at least 5 tomorrow is the goal. I have some itty bitty ones, like maybe 150 pages, and then some longer ones that are just above 200 pages. So mixing and matching those is my intention, and getting some steps in tomorrow too, because I sat a lot. It was a lot of driving today, and I need to move my body or I'm going to go insane. So those are the plans, and I will see you when we wake up tomorrow. Okay, good morning. I'm 3.5 hours into the audiobook of this, so like less than that actually reading this morning. I got a late start. I was very tired. I slept in. It was great, but we have a lot to do today. Mostly I need to clean. I might show you some of it, but it's like very bad right now. But I'm also hating this, if you're wondering about this. Unfortunately, the cover is the best thing about this book. It's one of those big corporations is bad sci-fis, but I'm not loving it. So this thing, they want to build an elevator to space. And from our narrator's perspective, he's like in this corporation. And they have just discovered that they have like worms in their brains that are kind of, they're influencing them for sure. And that's kind of all I can explain. It has been so unengaging. I've not been having a good time, but again, it's so short that I'm gonna finish it. And you know what's crazy? I haven't added any of these to my story graph, and I think that I'm like 30 books behind in my alleged reading goal. I should probably bring it back down to 200. I bumped it up to 250 because I was like, I'm reading so fast at the very beginning of this year. Yeah, that's gone and dead. 26 books. Should I leave it? Probably not, but I'm going to. Even at the end of this challenge, I'm still gonna be like 13 books behind, but that's okay. Anyways, focusing. We're focusing. This is, I don't know, I'm probably gonna give it like 2 stars by the end of it. I don't imagine that the ending is going to fix it, but then we have to pick a book to start after that, because I probably should clean for more than like 30 minutes this morning. I think that plus a really short book. I have 2 options for a really short book. And then I want to go to a coffee shop and sit outside and read, because that sounds great. It's actually really nice out, and it's not going to stay that way. If you know anything about the Pacific Northwest winters, it's that it's just like this bitter chill and raining the whole winter. So I have to enjoy it while I can. So I'll probably listen to either one or both of these books, because I think they're each 3 hours long for the audio. The first one is Nothing But Black and Teeth by Cassandra Khaw. My history with Cassandra Khaw is very mixed. I did not care for the mermaid one, Soul Grows Heavy, at all. I DNF'd it, even though it's also like as short as this. But then I loved The Library at Hellbore earlier this year. We'll see. It's very short. I'll probably get through it regardless. And it's signed. I forgot. I got all my books signed by Cassandra Khaw. They are a very cool human being and love disgusting things, so it's very fun. And then I have The Ballad of Black Tom by Victor Laval. Oh, I think it's like fame and music horror set in New York, so I'm probably gonna get to both of these because that's how much cleaning I have to do. But I don't know, it's not like these aren't the books that I most want to read right now. I think whenever we go to the coffee shop together, the extra is going to be my main priority, because I'm so excited about that one, and I only have it physically. I can't get it from Libby on my Kindle or audio, so I have to like sit down and read it. But just talking through all of that, that's 4 books today that I'll be finishing, which is pretty good for what I'm assuming is just going to be my morning. And then we'll have to pick some things out this afternoon. Everyone also posts all of their vlogs and stuff on the weekend, and I have so many YouTube videos I want to watch, but we have to focus. My life is so hard since I am, you know, doing this reading challenge and want to use my audiobooks for actual cleaning. All of my cooking for this week is going to be done in a crock pot, which is fine. I do love a crock pot meal, actually. I have such bad Sunday scaries right now too. After this week, I have some things to look forward to and a week off for Thanksgiving, which I'm very excited about. Yeah, so that's my life. And let's get back to reading, because if I keep yapping, I'm not gonna have enough time to finish this 24-hour reading challenge. I will also update you with how much time I have left once I'm done with counterweight. Okay, I've officially hit 11 hours and 20 minutes for this reading challenge, which means we have 12 hours and 40 minutes left. Great at math, not so great. Not feeling hopeful for this challenge, but this was 2 stars. I didn't care for this at all. I didn't really care what happened to the characters. It just felt kind of like a nothing book. But now we're up to 6 books, and I'm going to be picking up The Ballad of Black Tom because I just feel like I need a win. I also forgot that I had a Shawnee McGuire book, and I feel like that'll be the closest to fantasy. So if I need something like that, I'm gonna pick that up today. But for now, I'm gonna be starting this, and I put away some books that were on the floor. I need to finish that and start laundry is really what I need to do, and clean off our table. So hopefully I can get all of that done by the time I'm done with the book. And honestly, I don't know if I'm going to give you an update because it's only 150 pages. I guess I could. But this is my first Victor Laval. I'm really excited. I've been meaning to check this author out for a while. And it says it's full of rage and passion. Love that. So let's get into it. We got some cleaning done. We got a book read. It's a great Sunday, actually. We're changing our tune. This was great. I think this is a 5-star read. Another one. That's so exciting. I struggle with novellas, so I was not expecting there to be any 5 stars, honestly, and to already have 2. Well, already is kind of generous. We're over halfway through now. Less than 11 hours to go. This was great. We're following Tom, who goes to play for this very rich white man. And he's not very good at music, so he's not super sure why this is happening. But the mansion that this man lives in is like a liminal space. And we get perspectives from both Tom and this policeman who ends up killing his dad. And the timelines are a little bit jumbled, and I think that we get justice. And if you enjoy Sinners, I could totally see why this is being recommended in conjunction with that. There's definitely parallels, definitely not 1-to-1 or anything, but I did really, really like this. I was also a little worried that I was just not enjoying books or not being able to focus because I was listening to so many of them. So that is why I'm going to go sit outside and read some books outside. I'm very excited about it. I've figured out a place that I can go do that and get lunch because I have not really eaten today other than the coffee that I had this morning, but that doesn't count. That's not a meal. But I thought this was great. I just really hated counterweight. That was the big issue. And I'm bringing some books that I'm very, very excited to get to. So that should hopefully keep my interest. And I can always switch. I've managed to misplace Crypt of the Moon Spider, but I also got it on Libby, so it's on my Kindle. We're bringing the Kindle. And then I'm also bringing The Extra by Annie Neubauer. This is the #1 goal to finish while we're there. All of these are around like 100 pages too. I could probably get through a few of them depending on how long I want to sit outside. And then I have This World Is Not Yours by Kemi Ashingiwa. Cirque Berserk by Jessica Guest. Let's go get some lunch, read some books. And since I'll just be sitting, I can annotate too, which I'm really excited about. I've been super into annotating lately. This is what happened, because it is hours later now. I may have fallen asleep a little bit, not outside after I got back home, but I did read 2 more books in the time that we have talked since. I finished The Extra. I liked this book up until the last page. I'm actually so angry because there's no resolution. There is no answer. And this book had me absolutely hooked. Now that I've sat with it for, I haven't like just finished it this second, I think I kind of understand why the author did that, because there wouldn't really be a satisfying person to be the extra. Did I tell you what this is about? Probably not actually. This is about a group of people. They are all from a college, I think, and there's guides, and they take them on like their first backpacking trip basically. And we're following mostly Matt. They go with 10 people and they wake up with 11, but they remember everybody. Like there's not a person where they're like, you weren't with us from the beginning. They came in a 10-passenger van. Something weird happened with their lamp lights, and they woke up with one extra person. Very weird. The only proof that they have that they came with 10 is that there is a picture of everybody's headlamps showing that they started out with 10 people, but unidentifiable who was the extra. And they ended up not like interrogating everybody as to not cause like mass panic and groupthink, which they made a lot of good decisions, I think. I'm just still not very satisfied with the ending. And then I also finished Nothing But Black and Teeth by Cassandra Khaw. And this honestly would have been, if I would have done like a read the highest and lowest rated books on your TBR, this probably would have been up for the lowest rated book, but I liked it. I don't understand why the ratings are so low. Cassandra Khaw has been a win for me twice now, which is nice. I gave this 4 stars. They are at a old mansion, and it's a group of friends, and they've definitely had past relationships, but they're all together for a wedding. And it's like pre-wedding. Obviously things don't go right, and the house is like haunted and almost like a liminal space. I thought this was really creepy and well done. I don't understand why people don't like this. I'm gonna have to look at reviews and probably get mad at the reviews when people don't agree with me, because that's what you do when you like a book, I guess. But we do have 2 more down. I've also started on audio the Mira Grant book, but I think I'm going to save that for when my concentration really, really dwindles, because I can kind of feel that happening. These are the vibes. I've made a hot chocolate because I did also have an energy drink today and then immediately fall asleep. Like, I had the energy drink on the way back home, and my body was like, oh, we should sleep now, which is a fun thing to happen. But I have a hot chocolate that is very good. And I have my water because it's important to stay hydrated. And I don't think I'm going to do a whole lot else tonight other than sit here and read, because I don't want to. And I'm going to save the audiobook probably for putting away laundry right before I go to bed, because I do this fun thing where I put all of my clean laundry on my bed so that I have to put it away before I go to sleep. Half the time it does just end up on the floor, but sometimes it works. Crypt of the Moon Spider by Nathan Ballingrud is quite short. I think the second book just came out. I don't even know what this one is about. I will check in with you halfway through this time, though. Halfway done with Crypt of the Moon Spider. It's going by quite quickly. We're following Veronica. This is set in the 1920s, but like not our 1920s, because they're on the moon and she's in an insane asylum. And they keep doing brain surgery on her. And from what I can tell, putting spiders in there. But I think some got stuck. And also there's like these spider priest overlords, I think. It's kind of unclear. And she keeps talking to the moon. Even when she was on Earth and little, she talked to the moon, but now she's on the moon talking to the moon, I think. She is getting wheeled back from this, I think, 2nd or 3rd brain surgery that she's had, and gets abducted, kind of. There's also these priest people that she can see that sometimes other people can see, but sometimes it feels like other people can't see them. It's very weird, and like, I don't want spiders in my brain. That sounds bad. And now that she's kind of escaped, I think she's going into the death forest that's surrounding the insane asylum / creepy priest spider building. So that's a choice. She also had her mouth stitched shut because she wouldn't shut up during one of her surgeries, which, like, that's rude. And also, maybe we could do something about that. I don't know. This is very weird, and it kind of just throws you into the world. It's very short, so it makes sense, but I don't think that it suffers at all from that. I'm liking it, I think. It's really, really odd, though. And we have 4.5 hours left, so I guess let's get to it. Man, the getting dark at 5:30 p.m. is really messing with my brain. I think I'm gonna need one of those, like, don't get depressed during the winter lamps. The reading challenge is going well. We'll make it to 10 books for sure. Maybe even 12. Then with the Crypt of the Moon Spiders. This is kind of like Frankenstein, but spiders. Also, that picture is like, yeah, girl, me too. That's how I felt about this book. It was better than I was expecting it to be, and apparently it's going to be a trilogy. I think I'll continue with it at some point. Definitely not like super priority, but I thought it was good. I feel like it was kind of rushed. Like, I understand that it was a novella, like a very short one, but I think that it could have been a longer story, actually, and I haven't felt that way yet today. This is the first one. It is number 10. It's the 10th book that I finished. Woohoo! We have about 4 hours left. I'm gonna try finish the first book in the Wayward Children series by Seanan McGuire. It's definitely like the change of pace that I need. I just did 3 horrors, and that one's like not horror at all. It's kind of like quirky because it's Sean Maguire, I think. Just from like I'm like 5% into it. But I'm excited to see how it goes. I know a lot of people really love that series. And it's won the Hugo a few times. So it should be good. In theory, it's good. But we're going to take Rocket outside. He did not move at all. I'm going to try and we're going to go outside. What do you think? I'll be able to listen to it while we take a little nighttime walk. And then I don't know if I'll switch back to physical because I do have it physically. But I will give you a halfway update because this one's like more of a novella. It's longer. Good morning. So if you can't tell, it is not the same day. I did end up finishing Every Heart a Doorway by Sean Maguire, and I liked it. It reminded me of the Starling House. It reminded me of the library at Hellebore. This came first, but I did really like it. I will totally continue in this series. We are following a girl who has walked into this world and then came back and sent to this wayward house to fix her, basically, because nobody believes her because she's a child, but they are believed at this wayward house. It's a house full of children that have walked to another world and come back and are waiting to go back to the other worlds that they've gone to, and they have chaos worlds and not chaos worlds, and she came from a not chaos world, I'm pretty sure. And a lot of things go down in a very short amount of time. We're world building, we're meeting characters, and we're killing people. So that's fun. I liked it a lot, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I can totally see why this won the Hugo. It's super unique and has a lot of great representation in it, and it was just really solid. But after I finished it, I could not concentrate on anything. I was struggling at the end of this book, and not because it was a bad book. I just couldn't focus anymore. My focus time was over. So I did end up watching YouTube until I fell asleep last night. But we read 11 books in 22-ish, 21 hours, and that feels really good. I'm still incredibly behind on my reading goal, but I think 250 books is just not in the cards for me this year, perhaps next year. But I am destined to overcommit always. That's just who I am. And I would totally do this again, but actually prioritize reading at least 12 hours on the first day, because I think that would actually help me hit that 24-hour mark. I think my failing was that I decided to just have a bunch of plans on the first day that I did this. So next time we will be successful. And if you have any novella recommendations, definitely let me know. I still have a lot more than I thought I was going to at the end of this, but I will need more recommendations. Thank you so much for watching. And if you just want to say that you're here, but don't really have anything to say, leave me a door emoji for Every Hard Doorway. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.